Brexit negotiator David Frost's decision to rule out a delay to the transition period and move on to the next stage of the negotiations with the EU was criticised by Sadiq Khan, who claimed the government should allow the EU to recover from coronavirus first. The UK's chief Brexit negotiator said an extension to the transition period would not be requested, nor would it be accepted if the EU asked to delay talks. In a tweet on Thursday, Mr. Frost wrote that an extension would simply create even more uncertainty and leave the UK liable to pay more into the EU in the future. Speaking to LBC, London Mayor and Remainer Sadiq Khan said the decision beggars belief. He said, "I think the government is putting dogma ahead of the national interest. I think no one anticipated when they voted for Brexit that the key negotiations would fall at a time when all governments are rightly focused on fighting a global pandemic. The last thing we need is we try to make our way back from the devastation that's. I'd urge the government to put political ideology aside and pursue the pragmatic route. That means to get an extension so we and our European partners can focus on recovering from COVID-19, rather than also having to deal with a no-deal Brexit. The whole bandwidth of government is focused on this, as it should be. The idea you've got some slack in the system for civil servants to work on a deal is not really realistic. And neither does the EU. We've had thousands of people losing their lives, and thousands of more people will lose their lives. We've got a situation where the OBR is predicting a 30% drop in our GDP, and the idea we could, at the same time, be planning for a no-deal Brexit, it beggars belief. And I am angry that David Frost and the government are embarking down this road when we're trying to deal with COVID-19. Under the terms of the withdrawal agreement with Brussels, the transition, during which the UK continues to follow EU single market, it is open to Britain to request an extension if it believes more time is needed to secure a comprehensive trade deal covering its future relationship with Brussels. Senior figures in Brussels, as well as opposition parties in the UK, have warned that the pandemic means it will now be all but impossible to achieve an agreement within that timeframe. However, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has repeatedly insisted he will not seek an extension, passing legislation preventing the government from asking for one. On Wednesday, British and EU negotiators agreed to stage 3 further rounds of talks on a trade deal in a bid to make real, tangible progress before the end of June. David Frost and his EU counterpart Michel Barnier took stock of the work that had been done since the first round of negotiations in a video conference meeting. The next set of talks, each lasting a full week, will also take place by video conference, with a further high-level meeting expected in June to review the progress that has been made. Under the withdrawal agreement, Britain